Buddy Vonn here. How's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Loving BS on all platforms. Cleveland's own joining me here tonight, as I mentioned before, Buddy Vonn, rising star here. Are you ready for it? You ready for the big break?
Man, I think so. I hope to God I am. But as of right now, it's feeling good.
What's been the most surprising person that's reached out to you this far? Because I noticed when I posted my flyer and just other people reacting to my stories saying that you're very talented. Has there been someone so far in the industry that's wowed you so far that's reached out now that they've seen the body of work starting to release?
Honestly, Romeo Miller has been one person, and the
Mm.
second person has been Tricky Stewart, amazing producer, produced for like Beyonce, Rihanna, like literally the GOAT. And Bigger Ranking. He's on a lot of YFN Lucci's music.
Okay, yeah, I know who he is. That's
Yeah.
big, and it's only going to get bigger from here. And with your music, with Love and BS, got so much more on the way here. Are you planning a tour for this? Or are you kind of going to wait for like an album? What are we going to get
Mm,
here?
Honestly, that's still in the works. I can't say too much.
Yeah, it's still locked in, kind of like the
Yeah,
movie you were in.
right. That was a good one.
Oh, multi-talented. I heard about it, just your whole life story, and it's interesting that you even considered at a time that you wanted to just give it up. You were going to go into nursing. This was following in your mother's footsteps. Was that mostly
Yeah.
why you wanted to get into nursing?
Yeah, like my mom is an RN and my sister is a nurse practitioner. And honestly, like I've just always watched them work. And honestly have a passion for people. Like I'm at work right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so honestly, I just have like a passion for people. And yeah, like when I'm finished, like winning my Grammys and everything I want to do, in my music career, I definitely still do want to go to nursing school for sure.
Wow. So you still want to, that's interesting. Not a lot of people want to have, because people call nursing an ordinary job, but it's kind of
Mhm.
interesting that you would still want to
Yeah.
have that ordinary job, even
Yeah.
when you're famous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with having a little backup plan or, something else you're passionate about.
No. How far do you plan on taking the movies and everything? Because Scam Likely, I've
Mhm.
Tubi, you could check out all the movies on
Yeah.
Tubi. How much
Yeah.
further do you plan on taking your acting career?
Honestly, pretty far because I enjoy it almost as much as music. So honestly, pretty far. Hopefully, I'll be nominated for Emmy or Oscar one day.
Yeah, and you have that in common with Aaliyah. Aaliyah was the first one. I heard that you performed her song, and just think she was
Yes.
an actress too. Queen of the Damned. She's
Yes.
Romeo. Yeah,
Yes.
yep.
Mhm. Yeah, Romeo Must Die. Yeah. Oh my God. Aaliyah is my sister's favorite artist. And like my sister named her first child after her. Literally, Aaliyah, same spelling and everything.
Wow. You still have the iPod? You still have the iPod with all the music on there from the Aaliyah song?
I honestly, I don't think I do. I wish I did so I can download my EP so I can give myself more streams. But I don't think I have it.
But was this like the first iPod, like the real first one where you had to like like kind of like swirl it around? It was like a circle and it only had like a small screen.
It was like the first touchscreen one.
Okay,
Like
the
the
iPod
thick,
Touch.
like, yeah, it was the
Yeah.
first thick iPod Touch. Yeah.
Wow. I wonder how much those are going to go for someday because I think I still have
Me
mine
too.
somewhere.
You're gonna make me look for mine when I get home.
Yeah. Oh, but we all know about your grandmother too, because your grandmother was big in the
Mhm.
60s. She's very
Yep.
supportive of your career and just hearing how
Yes.
you kind of paid homage to her with your name. But Buddy
Mhm.
Holly was something that you were considering going by
Yeah.
until you did your research.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Oh my God. So one day my Instagram had my old Instagram got deleted and I was listening to Buddy Holly by Weezer. And I was like, I'm just gonna call myself Buddy Holly. And then, like you said, I did my research and I was like, well, I can't call myself that because he was a singer in like the 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
So I got the Vonn, of course, from my amazing grandmother, literally my best friend. We have the same birthday and everything. And I combined the two and like it just stuck. Everybody calls me Buddy Vonn, Buddy V. Everybody calls me that.
It works. It's going to be a big stage name, and people are going to reckon they're already recognizing you for it. And it's just the marketability is there, in my opinion,
Yeah.
and especially with
Yeah.
you paying homage. What's something that your grandmother was the most important advice she gave you about the industry?
She always told me to like stay true to myself and don't let people get under my skin and just make sure I always show my talent because I naturally have it.
Did she ever kind of describe to you what the industry was like back then, just how different it was? Because it was the
Um,
60s.
yeah, honestly, she never gave me too much detail because I'm not gonna lie, my grandmother did not like traveling. She didn't like any of that stuff. She told me she was like, I like the fact that you like traveling because I hated it. She was like, I did not like traveling because my grandmother's not really a people person. So she was like, that traveling was so hard. It was just so much to do. And she didn't like it. But she always told me that it was fun performing because she loved performing. She was really passionate about it. But she said she would perform and go. That's something that she would love to do. She would just perform and go. And I was like, I don't blame you, Ma. I really don't blame you.
Yeah, traveling gets hectic, especially if you're someone that is comfortable being in your home state too, and you don't want to
Mhm.
move around too much. I can get
Yeah,
that. Have you thought about recreating or covering one of her songs to pay homage?
I have. I really
Yeah,
have. I've thought of sampling one of her songs. I have to pick.
on the next album, maybe.
Yes, yes, of course, for sure. Yeah.
But your first song, Questions, this was released on SoundCloud. The streams
Mhm.
went crazy. What were kind
Oh
of the
my God.
opportunities that opened up for you once that song released?
Oh my gosh. I actually was performing that song everywhere in Cleveland when it first came out. And honestly, when it came out, that was like I think 2017. I didn't think it was gonna do that good. Like I produced it and of course I wrote it and everything. I co-produced it and then my friend Dylan Coach, I haven't talked to him in a while, but great guy. He helped me produce it. He recorded me, engineered it, mixed and mastered it. And honestly, like, dude, I think it got I don't know how many plays it has now, but like literally, I think I got like 20K plays in like 2 weeks.
I
And I
heard
was
about
like,
that. Yeah.
yeah. And I was like, oh my God. Like I was so happy. And that gave me a lot more motivation. And I was like 17 years old. That's when I like just started taking music serious. So that getting as many plays definitely had me like, okay, maybe I do have like a future in this.
Mhm. I did hear there was a statement there where you didn't even think that you would make it this far,
Oh yeah,
and
no.
that you were kind of, and I agree with your attitude that you should have blown up by now. There's a lot of people that shouldn't have blown up the way they have so far, because we've seen some
Yeah.
of them. I'm not going to get into names because I could be here all
Right.
night, that have blown up like in no time. I'll give you a quick example. Ice Spice,
Mhm.
okay, and that's enough. But
Oh no, I like her, please.
but when we really look at it, when you see someone that has your talent, you should have been on. So I get what you're saying when you're like, I should have been on by now. But you're a
Mhm.
people person. But there is something I did want to ask you, because you
Mhm.
said you used to be angry. So how did you kind of just turn yourself into a more positive person and lose that anger?
Because I kind of realized that like life could be a lot worse and I could be in a lot of worse situations. Like I'm really, really blessed, like especially with the support I have from my friends, my families, even my coworkers, like from the people that follow me on Instagram, like a lot of stuff could be worse and like God could really do something the total opposite that I want to be done. So I've always told myself like I got to remain humble because God can take it away anytime.
Yeah.
Like because he doesn't have to bless you. Like he's doing that because he loves you. He doesn't have to do it just because he's bored and he wants to bless you. Like no, like and I also really deeply believe in karma. And I always want to treat people how I want to be treated. So yeah, I was like I need to stop being ungrateful and be grateful for the accomplishments that I do have.
Mhm.
And ever since then, like it's honestly just been a breeze. I feel like I'm not gonna say I don't take things too serious because I am still working on that, but I don't take a lot of things to heart. I've learned to let a lot of stuff go and just make myself happy at the end of the day without being too selfish.
Mhm. Do you ever look deep into the karma, to the fact like maybe, oh man, I wonder what I did in my past life that I'm going through this storm? Do you ever look at it that way too?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, what did I do? Like sometimes I think like, geez, what did I do 8 months ago for this to happen to me right now?
Yeah.
Like what could I possibly have done?
Yeah. It happens because you just go through
Yeah.
those storms where you're just up, and you're right. That's why you got to remain humble, because that
Mhm.
rug can just be ripped right out from under you.
Yeah, it really can. It really can.
Mhm. At least you
Yeah.
have someone that's really important who discovered you on Instagram. Shout out to Phil.
Yeah.
He's
Literally my
really
best friend.
supportive. Yeah, he found you
Yes.
on Instagram. Kind of get into
Mhm.
how the initial conversation started with you two in the Instagram DMs.
Yeah, so honestly, he actually found me on TikTok at first.
Okay.
So I was singing a song. It was the Pretty Little Liars like theme song. And I was like, this is when I worked at a factory. I worked at the plane dealer. And I was on break. I was in the bathroom and it was like a nice echo. So I'm like, I'm about to sing a song and I sang that. And it didn't necessarily go viral, but it got like 200,000 views on TikTok. And then he DM'd me and like the rest is history. Like he's been like my uncle slash best friend for the past 3-4 years,
Wow.
literally.
Yeah, we had a conversation. He's really helping you out. Are you looking for that deal? Is that something that you want? Because I know people are so big on being independent nowadays because you can
Mhm.
gain your own revenue and the deals may not
Yeah.
be as glamorous as it seems. But are you looking for a deal?
I am looking for a deal, but I also have no problem with being independent.
Mm,
But the one thing I've learned about having a deal with a record label, like a major label, is that even though they do want some type of percentage, some of them definitely still let you have your royalties and everything. But at the same time, like doing everything on your own or without a team is hard. Like it's very hard. Like because for years I was my own manager. I was having my own content ideas and it was hard. And it was to a point where I kind of got like, like how they call like stuff like writer's block, like when people
mhm.
like can't, like I was like, I don't even know what to do. Like this is tiring. But when I developed a team and when I kind of like got the blueprint, I was like, okay, cool. Then I met Phil. He had it made it real easy for me. Like I realized how important DJs were, making drops and just being loyal, really, just being loyal and strategic. So yeah, like I mean, honestly, it's been a process, but it's been an amazing process. And I definitely do want that label deal. Me and him are kind of shopping right now.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
How did it feel to finally get down to Atlanta? Because I saw you did that song Christmas in Atlanta, but how does it feel to
Mhm.
be? Because I know you're going back and forth between there and
Yeah.
Cleveland. How did it
hmm
feel to first touch down there?
You know what's crazy? Atlanta and Cleveland are actually really similar.
Mm,
It's honestly just more opportunity and more like it's more people and more opportunity down there. I like it. I think it's cool. I don't know if I would move there yet because the city life is cool, but the city life is more so my type of time when it's time to promote my music. But like when I'm not on my music stuff, like I'm at the gym, I'm chilling, stuff like that. So if I were to move there, I would definitely probably move out of the city. But if I want to kick it or promote, I will definitely be in the city.
yeah. Cleveland has music legends. I mean, when you look at Bone Thugs, they're
hmm
the face of Cleveland. What do you think that you guys are lacking on the music scene? Because I know you got Machine Gun Kelly. I'm not the biggest fan of
hmm
his, but
hmm
when you look at it, you've had great acts come out of there who have been success stories. I mean, LeBron with sports. What is
hmm
it that you think Cleveland's lacking?
We don't support each other.
Mm,
I feel like everybody hates on each other. Like I honestly feel like if we supported each other and put as much energy into positivity as we do into hate, like we would have a lot more success and bring a lot more money here too. Because a lot of people don't realize, yeah, MGK is really popular. Bone Thugs was really popular back in the day. Till this day, like Doughboys like blowing up still.
yeah.
YFL Kelvin, like that girl Ja, like it's a lot of people that are blowing up, but people just be hating, bro. Like they hate so much. And if that didn't happen, we would be in a lot more like positive space. And I feel like that's something that we need to work on. And I'm saying we just to make everybody feel included because like we really definitely have to work on that. Like seriously, for
Yeah.
real. Because
Do
it's
you think
crazy.
because it's so hard to make it out of Cleveland, you think that's why there's so much hate? Because when you look, because I come from Connecticut and,
hmm
no one supports people. Please. When you look at
hmm
New York, when you're in New York or like in Atlanta, do you think it's because it's such a huge monumental place where there's success stories everywhere? You think that's why there's
Yeah.
less hate in those places than there are in
Yeah. And I
smaller places?
Yeah, and I feel like it's more motivation there because it's so many people that have came out of there and have been successful. Like even in California, like don't get me wrong, like a lot of people like kind of mess with certain people just to like get themselves higher.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, like the word of mouth is like really important. Like the power of the tongue is crazy. Like, yeah, social media is great, definitely an amazing asset. But like when people are going around telling people about your stuff, have them download this, have them download that, have them watch this. Like it's crazy. Like, and it means a lot. Like it means a whole lot. Just knowing somebody really could change your life. One favor could change your life. So I just feel like we just need to all support each other and like just remain like positive and humble because people really lack that. Like people really, really lack that.
Yeah, people are especially now with social media. How do you? I know you're not big on social media, but it's interesting. How do you not kind of let the peer pressure get to you because you see people having to act out of character and they do things for clout. So how do you
Mhm.
kind of just stay in your own lane and not worry what they're doing? Because we know what goes on for people to go viral. They do the most crazy things just to
Yeah.
get those clicks and likes.
Yeah. Honestly, respectfully, I just think it's weird. And
Yeah.
I'm like not a weird person. Like, I mean, people do what they do. Like, And I also think about what could the consequence be and what, like, could I go back? Am I going to go back to this and be like, I regret that? I don't post stuff and I don't say stuff that I feel like I'm going to regret later. And on top of that, like, I'm kind of to the age, I mean, I'm 24, but I'm kind of to the point where it's just like, I'm not a kid anymore. Like, I'm trying to have an established career, successful, have good relationships, and make sure like everything works in me and my team's favor when it comes to favors that we do need, because people don't understand like that's really important. And loyalty and just being genuine is huge, because that doesn't happen in the industry. People
No.
snakes left and right, no matter what. So, but I mean, yeah, it's weird, but like, I mean, hey, get it how you live, I guess, but I'm not going to be getting it how you live.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, you're gonna live how you want to live. That's how
Yeah.
you're gonna do it, and then that's the only
Yeah.
way. Yeah, got to keep your friends close, enemies closer. Friends
Right.
on only on one hand that you can count, because you don't need any
Hmm.
more than that. Then you can't
Right.
control. You got to have some control of who's around you. I mean, just everything, especially with social media. You've talked about just putting it down and getting into reading books. Have you been able
Hmm.
to accomplish that as of recent? I did hear that one of your previous interviews. You want to get into reading.
So I'm not going to lie. I haven't been reading.
Okay.
Not gonna lie. I definitely still need to work on that. Um, because I mean, honestly, I don't watch TV. If I'm like watching anything, it's like on YouTube, or like I watch YouTube on the TV. I don't watch, like, I'm not really into politics. I don't watch like, I don't watch reality shows. I don't do anything like that. If I see anything or know about anything, it's because of social media. But I'm more so like watch like dad jokes on YouTube, or like I like UFC a lot in WWE, so
I
I
heard you're a
watch
big
like the MMA
WWE
fights.
fan.
Yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
huge WWE. I literally have been since I've like been 8 years old. I follow all the fan pages, like
Wow.
everything. And yeah, I'll just watch something like that. Or of course I listen to music, but music is definitely like 70% of what I listen to and what I watch. Whether it's like a music video or like behind the scenes or like a whole album, whatever. It's mainly just music, really. But I definitely do need to get into reading. I started this book. I need to finish it because it's not even that long. So I just need to finish it.
How about The Secret? Have you thought about reading a book like that? I've heard that has helped manifest a lot of positive things in people's
I was
lives.
about to say, is that about like manifestation and like laws
Yeah,
of
people
attraction
told
and
me
everything?
if you read it and you kind of just keep it to yourself, you could kind of just create your own reality. That's what I've heard. I haven't
Hmm.
read it. I probably should. I do have it, but I'm
Hmm.
focused on just my own ambitions and goals. It's like I really don't have time for this because reading
Yeah.
takes dedication. I'm not in
Yeah, it
college
does.
anymore, so I always say I'm retired from reading books and all that stuff.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
you know how it is, and
Yeah.
yeah, you have to find some real time and dedication to do that.
I agree. That's why I started and I kind of stopped because I'm like, yeah, but I
Yeah.
need to start again.
So say if Triple H calls you tomorrow and he tells you to come in, he wants you to come in and have a match. Who would you want to wrestle with, and what would your finisher signature move be?
Oh my God. I would probably wrestle. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. I would probably wrestle like Beth Phoenix or Natalia. And my finisher wrestling move would literally probably be the twist of fate and the swanton bomb.
The
And like
twist
my
of
signature
fate.
move, yes, and my signature move would be Whisper in the Wind. So Jeff Hardy's my
Yeah,
favorite.
he's your favorite. I heard that.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's my favorite. So anything he did, jumping off of stuff, flipping, whatever, 1,000% doing exactly what he did. I would want a little bit of training,
Yeah.
but I would definitely do that 1,000%. Like, oh my God, that question just made me so happy. Like,
Yeah. I'm glad it did.
oh
Is
my God, I
is Rey
love
Mysterio
WWE.
still there? Is he still
He
wrestling?
is.
Yeah, he was
He's
my
like have
favorite growing up. Yeah.
he's a really cool guy. Like I haven't watched it like recently. I just know the last time I watched it, he was like having this feud with his son, because you know his son Dominic Mysterio
Really?
is,
Wow.
yeah, he's in WWE now and he's great. Like he's become like a big star too. Yeah.
Insane how the legacies live on within that
Right.
company with the DiBiase's. When you always look at it,
Hmm.
it's crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
And then you can come out to your own song, Love and BS.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
see?
Right.
Put that twist of fate on Beth Phoenix and all them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Hmm.
That's what you have to do. But let's get back to your acting work and just your movies, because it was this Cleveland movie company that believed in your work because they saw your audition work and then they put you in these roles.
Hmm.
What were kind of things that you were doing beforehand? Were you kind of just submitting the things on Backstage, looking for your own work?
Yeah.
That it was just the work that they
Mhm.
found and you submitted to them?
So actually, so I definitely did put videos on Backstage, like headshots and everything. On Backstage, I didn't find too much work. And it was okay, but at the same time with Backstage, I wasn't really that consistent. Um, but yeah, like they put up a casting, like a casting for HWIC Filmworks. Shout out to them, love them. Like that's literally my family. Um, and I sent the video in because I was out of town, and they picked me, and like the set was fun. Like Scam Likely was really, really fun. That was like my first big role, and it was like my first role
The
ever.
waitress role.
Yeah. And like I was like, oh my God, I had an amazing time. Then Locked In was super fun. We shot Locked In like 3 days. Like, so we were literally we were in this cold ass basement for 3 days. But it was great because like I feel like honestly, I feel like Locked In, I feel like I did really good on Scam Likely, but I feel like Locked In was probably my favorite acting role.
Mhm.
I feel like I feel like I really showed my range more so
Mm.
in that. Because like Scam Likely, I was like a bit nervous, kind of like getting comfortable in my character, but I feel like my character in Locked In like fit me more, minus the ditzy part, because they had me be ditzy. But other than that, I feel like it was a good role for me.
What's your ultimate role that you want? Whereas it could be on any show or it could be something that hasn't been created yet. What's something that you want to play?
I've always wanted to kind of be like a action movie, like not like a hero, but like for example, like a John Wick. Or
Okay.
like, yeah, I think that's so cool. Like, cause he's unstoppable. So it's
Yeah.
like, I think that's so cool. Like something like that. Or like some like a Mr. and Mrs. Smith type of vibe, like something like that.
Mm. Now that would be interesting.
Yeah.
And you
I
took
think that's
acting
so cool.
classes too?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I went to Chagrin Falls, and it was a theater program. It was like Excel Tech. So it was like a college program in high school.
Okay.
And I went there for 2 years, got my certificate in performing arts and theater. So we were like acting and everything, but the first year was mainly like the Shakespearean era. So it was like Shakespeare, like poems and Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet. And the second year is when they got like really versatile with everything. And I had a great time. And they also taught me how to sing out of my diaphragm.
Wow.
Um, so that was like great. It was kind of different because it was a diverse group of us. But I'm not gonna lie, the first year I was clowning. I'm not gonna lie. I was clowning because of course respect to the Shakespearean era, because like if it wasn't for that era, we wouldn't have certain movies and we wouldn't have certain like tales and books and everything. But it just didn't really interest me that much. But the
Mm.
second year I kind of got more serious because I liked it. And it was my senior year. And I was like, do I really want to do this? I was like, yeah, I do.
That's why I always tell people, if you want to do film, you got to go to Atlanta, you got to go to
Mhm.
LA, because if you want to do Shakespeare and all that, get your crown and your sword and all that stuff and go to
Yeah.
Broadway in New York, because that's all that's
Yeah.
there really.
That's all that's there.
Yeah. And people get
Yeah.
serious into that theater. I'm not into it. I'm more of,
Mhm.
yeah, get me the M16 like Scarface,
Yeah.
let's do a role, like
Mhm.
let's go. I mean something more like
Yeah.
Locked In or Saw or something. I have no
Mhm.
time for the stage. People
Yeah.
do that and they get really, yeah, that's not for me.
Yeah. I realized that I wasn't a theater kid as soon as I got to that school. I thought I
Yeah.
was a theater kid. I'm like, oh, I'm not a theater kid. They were like Hamlet, Macbeth, and Sweeney Todd. I was like, SpongeBob SquarePants, WWE. I was like, what? I was like, what are y'all talking about? I was like, I am not a theater kid at all. I knew I wasn't. I was like, this is
Yeah,
weird.
yeah. There was always those stereotypes. I don't want to criticize any of the audience listening, but there's always those stereotypes around the drama kids that were in the theater. We all know what that is,
Yeah,
but
and they're true.
yeah.
They are very, 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 very true. Like
uh
I know firsthand,
Unbelievable.
they're very, very true.
Yeah. Oh, I can only imagine. I believe I've seen it firsthand. So yeah, I can only
Mhm.
confirm that. Uh, you've
Yeah.
touched down in Atlanta. You're
Mhm.
in Cleveland. Have you thought about going out to California?
I've actually been to California a few times. I
Mm,
actually really enjoy California. I was out there working with No ID and his team.
okay.
Um, Living there, probably not only because their cost of living is so high,
Yeah. Oh,
but I would
astronomical.
definitely, yeah, I would definitely probably have like some type of studio apartment, or like when I get to that point to like have multiple houses, I would probably have a house out there. But as for like home, as of right now, no.
No. Yeah,
But
Cleveland.
like visiting, I'm not gonna like Cleveland is always gonna be home. But like when I do get to that level, I know I'm gonna have like the multiple houses and everything. So everywhere will be my home at that point.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I can't even really put my finger on it.
Yeah. How big of a deal was it when, I mean, especially like when LeBron left for Miami, just you being there, and
Mhm.
then when he came back and won? Because the Tide completely, when he left, he was hated. They're burning the
Bro. Oh
jerseys.
my God. Oh my God. My dad was so mad when he left. And then when he came back, of course, he was like happy, but he was much like, oh, he's just gonna leave again. But I
Yeah.
mean, kind of after he got us the ring, like everybody was like him after him and Kyrie got us the ring, they were like, okay, you can leave. You got us what we wanted. Like, thank you.
Yeah.
Bye. But oh my God, the city was in an uproar when he left. And when he left, I was like younger. I was like, what year was that? 2013, 2014 when he
Yeah,
left?
I think it was because he was in Miami by then. 20 might have been 2011, I think maybe
Mm,
2010.
mm,
Yeah, like right around that. Because I remember he was on the Heat because he won in 2013 with them, 2014 with them, and I think
mm.
he lost to the Mavericks in between there one time too.
Oh,
Yeah, I believe so.
yeah, I was young when he left. Like I was really young. And I just remember like on the news, they were burning jerseys. I like my neighbors had all their calf stuff in the trash. I was like, oh my God. I was like, and like I'm not really into like sports and stuff. Now I'm more so into sports because I bet.
Yeah.
But like back then, I'm just like, is it really that serious?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. But yeah, I mean, when you're a dedicated fan, it's definitely that serious.
Mhm. It is, and
Because
I'm
that's
pulling
how it
for your
was about
Browns too.
WWE.
I hope
Mhm.
they, because I'm a Jet fan, so I know what it's like. I'm representing for you tonight because I always wear a
Thank
hat for
you.
wherever my guest is from. So I'm pulling for your Browns. I hope they do win. You guys,
Me too.
if any team deserves it besides the Jets, it's the Browns. So I know
Yeah.
it's been rough. So yeah, let's
Yeah.
they
It's
win.
been rough.
Let's look at something hypothetically here because you don't like social media. I don't like it either. I think it's terrible.
Mhm.
I was thinking about the other day, man, how did all these guys like Dipset, all these artists, Fabulous, how did they survive without social media back in the day?
Right.
Because now it seems like it's so necessary and it's vital. What do you think would happen if social media, Instagram just went away and we went back to old times? One day we just woke up, Instagram's gone. What do you think would happen?
I feel like a lot of people's mental states would be better because I feel
Mm,
like social media really like eats at the brain for a
yeah.
lot of people. I feel like if you're like really weak minded, I'm not even gonna say weak minded because that sounds mean, but I feel like if you're not strong minded and you let stuff get to you, and if you're super emotional and like if you see certain things like it triggers you, like I feel like if that all went away, a lot of people would be a lot better. Cause like just like the whole thing like with women and like their bodies and everything, like women feel like they have to look a certain way. Guys feel like they have to be rich as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just the standards would be a lot different, and a lot more people would be quiet because a lot of people say certain things and they think their opinion is needed, and that's fine. You can say whatever you want to, but it's certain things that like you don't have to say. Like you don't have to tell us you just woke up and ate a banana and now you're on your way to work. Like you didn't have to say that. Like thank you, but next time you can keep that to yourself.
You
For
can.
sure. Yeah.
Alternative music. You were big into alternative when you were younger. How do you think
Yes.
you can incorporate or integrate that sound into your R&B music?
I feel like honestly, like showing my range, like when I
Mhm.
sing, because I'm gonna be honest, like I got into alternative music when I was like 14. And like the first like ever song where I was like, okay, I'm in love with the song, it was Drain You by Nirvana. I was actually playing a rock band and I was like, I like this music on here, like this is great. And I was playing the drums at first before I had grabbed the mic. And
And
like
piano. I think I heard that you played piano too.
yeah, I did play
Yeah.
the piano and I stopped. I need to start again because
Yeah.
I was like, that was my instrument. Like the piano was definitely my instrument. And yeah, like I was playing Rock Band all the time. I was only listening to grunge for
Mm,
like a year straight. From like 14 years old to 15 years old, I was strictly listening to grunge. I always like was in a pop. Like Kelly Clarkson used to be my favorite singer. She's still one of my favorite vocalists. But yeah, that rock era, I'm definitely still in it. My favorite band right now is Arctic Monkeys.
mm.
But like before, like I mean, after Nirvana and before Arctic Monkeys, it was 3 Days Grace. Like I
Yeah.
was a die-hard 3 Days Grace fan. Like die hard. Like, oh my God. And then when their lead singer left and they got a new one, I kind of stopped listening to them. I'm not gonna lie, but their music isn't bad. It's just different when you've been listening to a band so long and the lead singer that you've listened to for years is like gone. It's just
Mm.
completely different.
Do you think it's possible anyone could kind of reinvent or just remake grunge? Because I love like Nirvana, that whole era, Smashing
Yeah,
Pumpkins.
yeah.
Yeah, it's legendary.
Um, I feel like it's possible to come back because I honestly feel like that kind of techno sound is coming back.
Mm,
Cause like, cause TikTok blows everything up. Like if your sound goes viral on TikTok, like you're a star automatically. You
yeah.
got deals coming left and right. So I feel like just like with Pink Panther, it's like she has kind of like the techno like cute girly pop song. And I feel like if that can come back, because that was popular like late 90s, early 2000s, I feel like anything is possible. So I feel like if somebody approached it right, grunge could definitely come back for sure.
Mhm. And R&B's back because we got Buddy
Yes.
Vonn here, and then
Right.
you've spoken about it in the past that you believe that all the women in R&B can come together.
Yeah, 1,000%. Because I'm gonna be honest, like I feel like we kind of run it. Like,
Mhm.
don't get me wrong, we still have like Lucky Day, Chris Brown, we have Bruno Mars, we have Silk Sonic, him and Anderson .Paak. Like, we definitely have like the sound, but I feel like the major hits and the major like top charting hits is definitely coming from the R&B girls for sure.
Yeah. Janae too. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
SZA, that's another one.
right.
Yeah.
Her, yeah.
Yeah, her. Yeah,
Mhm.
the R&B is definitely on the rise and back for sure. If you were in an elevator, give me your elevator pitch to the weekend. That's your favorite. So, what would you tell them if you only had like
Honestly, I
one
would
minute?
probably pass out. Like, I don't even know. Help you pass out. Honestly, you know what's crazy? I don't know because I feel like I don't honestly, dude, I have no idea because can you imagine how many people probably try to pitch at him? So
Yeah.
I probably would probably just try to be cool. Like be
Mm.
like, hey, like I'm a big fan of your music. I'm also a singer, but I love you. Like you inspire me. And I'll show him like my tattoo that I have of his first two albums on my shoulder. But I wouldn't be like, please collab. Cause like if he said no, my world would come
Oh,
down.
yeah. Then you'd have to go get the tats lasered off.
Exactly. Right, right, right.
How do you think
Yeah.
Bruno Mars? Because you've spoken about wanting to work with him as a songwriter. What do you feel as though he could add to your songwriting?
I feel like he can add a lot of feel
Mm,
because like he's such a good songwriter. Like he's such a good songwriter. Like literally my favorite song on him and Anderson .Paak's album is called After Last Night. And like the way he just writes and the way he performs his music is crazy. Just like Lucky Days, It's You. That's he wrote that. I when that song first came out, I swear I listened to that song like 5 times a day for like a month straight. Like it's just
wow.
the way he writes is crazy. And then the way he has the artist, whether he's the artist or he's like writing for somebody, the way he has them perform it is like crazy. I feel like he'd really like push me to that limit because his music is great and his pen is insane.
Yeah. I think if these guys like The Weeknd and Bruno Mars heard your songs, I think they would just be ready to work right away because the talent's there.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, we got the EP out now, Love and BS. I heard the story about what inspired it, just the relationship. I heard about it already and just
Mhm.
how the guy was jealous in the relationship and you kind of just had to cut it off. Do you feel as though it's kind of, I think relationships as a whole in this day and age are just
Mhm.
completely toxic and it's because of social
Yes.
media.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like it has to do with social media, but I also feel like it has to do with how people grow up.
Yeah.
Like their family and like their mom, their dad, and like the stuff that they went through, and just like themselves. Cause I mean, I wasn't perfect, you know what I'm saying? But It definitely has to do with those two things. Like those are two major things. And you also can't help somebody that doesn't want to help themselves. So
No, and it's a big power balance too. I've noticed that if one person's too
yes.
successful, then the other one's going to get jealous, and then
Yeah.
it's a
Yep.
disaster.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your personal favorite from the EP? I already told Phil, put it on me. I used that for the story tonight. That's my personal
Mhm.
favorite. What's the one
Yeah.
for you?
Entitled.
Mm,
I feel like that really shows like my vocals. Like, of course, Entitled and Love and BS. I've loved Love and BS ever since I recorded it. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But Entitled is definitely like something I feel like you can feel the hurt and pain in my voice. And that's why I like it.
yeah. Would you say
Yeah.
that it's more BS than love out here right now? Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
yes. Are you kidding me? Yes.
Maybe I just gave you the idea for your follow up. More
Right.
BS than love.
Right. Right.
Give me a break. Are you already in the studio kind of mapping out the next EP? Because we know how music is today. I'd prefer artists to just stick with what you got out and then keep promoting it and take your time with your work. But are you kind of already in go mode for your next release?
Somewhat, but I'm always open. I'm kind of trying to keep my mind expanded. I don't necessarily want to keep myself in a box, but I for sure like I'm ready to release ASAP. I just have to be strategic. That's my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just think when you really start getting on these movie sets and then you start really taking over there, you're going to pen the soundtracks too. You got to do the
Right.
soundtracks.
Right. Exactly.
What are your short-term goals for 2024? What are something you feel as though you're going to be knocking down soon here? Because we're already, what, 10 days into the new year now. So what
Mhm.
do you feel as though you're
Yeah.
going to be knocking down soon here in 2024?
Honestly, I feel like I'm gonna be honestly like that's actually a really good question. I feel like for sure my short term goals is to always stay positive and be true to myself and not let certain things get to me. So that's kind of something I'm working on within myself. But as of like success as in my career, I definitely do want to get signed to a major. I definitely want that deal to be great. And I want to make all the people that are supporting me proud, honestly, especially my grandma, my mom, my dad. They're proud of me already. But when I get there, like I'm gonna feel like I accomplished something. Um, so that's short term. Honestly, I can't really think of anything else at
Yeah.
the moment.
The Grammys those will be on the way too.
A
It's all
thousand
gonna
percent.
happen.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I just hope the label that you sign to is the right one. That's the one,
yeah, me
whether it's
too.
like a Rock Nation or something.
Yeah, me too.
It's got to be the
Me
right
too.
one.
Right, fingers crossed.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. uh, Buddy Vonn, is there anything else you'd love to let your fans know? Anything else that we didn't talk about here tonight?
Thank you guys for supporting me. This is an
Of
amazing
course.
interview. I had fun. Like this
Thank
is
you.
actually so funny, especially the WWE question. I
Yeah.
can't wait to tell my parents about that later.
You got to get practicing those moves. Triple H is going to be calling,
Right.
right?
And some stretching and some
Yeah.
stretching over here.
And get working on your company too, because I know you used to make your own clothes. I know you might want to do
Mhm.
something with fashion, or
Yeah.
yeah, I know you want to have your own brand. So any
Mhm.
development there, or is it still kind of where I've kind of described it as from when I done my research? You kind of still don't know where you want to do with it yet, but
Definitely got to stay tuned for sure.
stay tuned.
Hmm.
There you have it. And they can follow you on Instagram and Twitter at Buddy Vonn. Make sure you go
Yep.
give her a follow. Love and BS EP available on
Mhm.
all platforms. Christmas in Atlanta.
Yep.
Go download it now. Buddy Vonn, thank you for
Yes.
coming on the show. Shout out to Phil for setting this up. You're always welcome
Yes.
anytime.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Have a great night. And I look forward to seeing the billboards, the awards, and the bright lights. It's going to happen.
Yeah. Ah, thank you so much.
Of
You're
course.
great.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Have a great night.
You too.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye bye.